Hi, it's Audrey. Welcome back to Squirrel. Today's episode with my friend Anne started off with a simple question about greed, and somehow ended in an existential spiral. What is progress? Is power always corrupting? What's the point of striving, or even existing, if we're just going to die anyway? It's a lot, but I think you'll like where we land. Let's get into it.
I find it interesting that humans, when they're given power, they just abuse it and they commercialize it. And they industrialize it. Do you not see that trend?
Definitely. But I think...
we turn towards one of the most unethical ways to go about, commercialization.
It's in human nature.
To take advantage of what we already have.
Yeah.
Genetically modify them.
Yeah, and to exploit things, to get power. With great power. Nature? With great power comes great responsibility. But
why do you think
humans will misuse that responsibility or not take responsibility?
Why do you think it's in human nature, then?
I think humans are born sinful.
Really?
Yes. So selfishness, greed, all that stuff. It's in human nature, I think. But it could also be...
It's not necessarily a bad thing, though.
No, but it can be. And I think it's just a tendency, right? Because when you see a lot of material, you think, how can this benefit me?
Yeah, that's true.
I think an interesting question is, are humans the only animals that have that tendency?
No. I think humans, because their brains are a lot more developed. You'll see, I don't know, more complex strategies and benefiting themselves, but I don't think every animal is for themselves. Do you not think so?
I think so, but she would see us. But I think do you think there's greed? Do animals display greed? Non-human animals.
Well, if they didn't display greed, would they even be able to survive at all?
But that's not greed, is it? Greed is taking more than you need. Maybe they don't have the means to display greed because there's not enough food.
Yeah, I agree.
There was this experiment, I think it was done by Yale or Stanford. It was these monkeys, they introduced them to the concept of money.
Okay.
And very quickly, the monkeys learned how to use money. And at first it was just buying food and things like that, but they also displayed human-like characteristics with regards to money. But it's kind of off topic, so I'll keep it short. But it's basically we'd rather have the chance of earning something than have the chance of losing something. So we think it's better if we're given one banana and then we have the chance of winning another, rather than we're given two bananas and we have the chance of losing one. Because right, those are the same mathematically.
Yeah.
But we feel better when we gain something rather than lose something.
Did the study explain the reason behind that?
It was just seeing if non-human animals have the same tendency to want to gain. I think it's called loss aversion. Have you ever heard of that?
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's we don't like to lose things. And animals also displayed that. The monkeys preferred it when they gained one rather than lose one, even though it's the same mathematically. And then a really interesting thing was the animals, besides just using money to buy food from humans, they use money to buy something from each other. Sex. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Prostitute?
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? And then they stopped the experiment. I think it was immoral or something. But I think it would have been interesting to keep going. What if if they get more money, are they going to start being greedy? Are they going to start... I wonder if greed is exclusively human.
Have you ever thought, I was thinking the other day, have you ever thought about, how does one society go from... Because, in history, societies in the past... This is actually really unrelated, but...
That's okay.
Have you ever thought about, why women are so, looked down upon, compared to men? Some societies in history, they actually put women, above. Or, in equal ground. But, where does that stigma come from?
Not US, in world history, did you took geo, right?
Yeah.
In world history, we kind of learned the idea was just from strength, because men are by nature much stronger, and in hunter-gatherer society, women were valued pretty highly because 70% of your food, your sustenance, was from the fruits and the leaves and vegetables, which the women were gathering. But it was when we became settled people, and you had to have the men, you got your food mostly from tilling the ground, from agriculture stuff, and also keeping cattle and farm, and that was very hard labor, right? Because you're out there toiling all day, and so men had a huge advantage compared to women, and so that's when men were valued a lot higher than women, because they were the breadwinners, breadwinners. So
Bread getters.
I don't know. So remember we had the bread group.
Oh my god.
Okay, that's okay. Anyway. So yeah, I think that's the main reason, right? It's just like they had one advantage over us, and slowly they just got all the roles. They became priests while women weren't priests.
Do you think we can ever see like a full change in society
Where women are equal to men?
Yeah, because I don't think so.
I agree. I think there's fundamentally differences that make us unequal.
Yeah.
But I also think women are excelling men in some areas. There's more women, I think, that are smart. There's some kind of study about how men are now being outnumbered by women in certain like academic fields, which I think that's entirely possible. But we're just born with such differences.
Yeah. I see the academic part. Because, I don't know if this is related, but a lot of the female percentage in, like, private schools are, like, way higher than male. Like, you can see that in our, like, dorm, like, stuff. Like, guys are in Tippett and Kyle, and they have, like, 3, like, small dorms. And, yeah, I don't know. And then, I feel like you never really overcome that, like, barrier. No matter what you do, like, no matter how close you get to it, it's happened for a reason. And I don't want to say, like, misogyny is justified. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, men are still biologically, like, stronger than us. And no matter how much, like, we do or how much, like, steroids we want to inject into our bodies, like, it's still not enough.
But bringing this back to our conversation about power, is that necessarily a bad thing?
Wanting power?
Or the men having more power?
Well, yeah, like, I think one more thing I want to add into this conversation is, like, the need to have a leader. Like, in every society, there's always one leader. You've never, like, there's not, like, a community, like, based, like, communism isn't even like that. Like, anarchy, communism isn't even like that. There's always, like, a wiser, older one, like, I don't know, I find that really, like, humans need someone to tell them what to do. And does that relate to the need of industrialization? Is that what?
Wait, I got lost. How does that relate to the need for industrialization?
Like, to industrialize is to make things a lot easier to produce.
Right.
Like, essentially, right? But, like, also these industries are being controlled by a lot of huge, like, companies and, like, shareholders and whatnot. Wouldn't be able to run if, like, industry wouldn't, I don't think industry would exist if it was, like, anarchy or a communist society.
And China, when it was communist, per se, their industry was failing so bad, they had to turn to communism. They had to turn to capitalism.
So people are starving.
Yeah, it's a great question, like, why do we need a leader, and why can't we all be, like, equal, and why does that economy fail?
Do you think that is something that is beneficial to our survival, that we have a leader? If everyone was equal, then do you think you would ever improve or progress as a society?
I think that goes along. It's kind of the idea of competition is what brings progress. Like, capitalism works because people are competing and they want to be better, and so while they're doing that, they're implicitly like helping the economy. They're
Okay.
improving America as a whole. So I think maybe no. If everyone's equal, there's no competition, there's no maybe drive to be better.
Yeah.
But yeah, that kind of, it's a good question. Like, why real communism, like Marx envisioned, is never happened.
Fully existed.
Yeah. So
Well, but also going off, no real democratic
it's true.
system has ever existed. And capitalism is not...
Like perfect. Yeah, we're not even completely capitalist.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no perfect system that can ever exist. And usually in dystopian novels, what they're depicting is a utopian world. Except that's why it's dystopian. So I think that's kind of depressing. Humans are always flawed. But
Well, isn't that
that's the
good?
truth?
Is it a good thing, or... I think we need flawed aspects to
If we, yeah.
potentially grow better.
Yeah, I mean, that means we have room for growth. Because if we weren't
Yeah.
flawed, we wouldn't need to grow.
If we were perfect, then I think we would genuinely be fucked. What's the purpose of procreating at that point?
That's an interesting dichotomy. Because we keep yearning for perfection.
Yeah.
But we'll never get perfection.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you're saying, we can't... If we had perfection, we wouldn't... There would be no future for that either.
Yeah. I think we would genuinely lose our future. Like...
So then what's the point of striving for it?
I think as humans we should... I mean, not we should. I think we tend to... Do you think it's a biological thing? Like, humans always, like, tend to, like, be better.
Be better? Like, want to be
grow,
better?
Like, yeah, want to be better, grow better, like... expand
evolution?
Expand their skills. Well, evolution is, like...
Forced to be better.
Yeah.
I don't know. Why do we want to be better?
Because wouldn't it increase our chances of survival? If we're better at something, wouldn't it increase our chances of survival?
That's true. Yeah, that sounds reasonable. But I think it's funny. Like, yes, it makes us better at survival, but then we're never gonna be the best. Like, we're never gonna reach that level of better.
Do you think there's a objective better or objective
Oh my
best?
God.
Because that, like, what you're bringing here, if we keep on reaching for it, then there must be an objective.
Right. But like, think about it.
Is that not what people mean by questioning the meaning of life and trying to find it?
Yeah.
We've come full circle.
Oh my God. Why does everything go back to this question? Yeah, because what's the point of striving for better if you're never gonna get to best?
Yeah.
And what's the point of wanting to get to the best if getting to the best, like you said, is useless? There's no future.
Yeah. But then, why do we do it?
I don't know,
Why
Anne.
do we do it?
I don't know. It's like, why do we ask what the meaning of life is?
Why do we even have these discussions?
Why do we want to have this discussion right now? Why are we going to the school?
Why are we alive? Genuinely, we could have done anything. Like, dying is
Right.
very, very easy. Not that I'm gonna die, but I'm just saying.
You never know. Well, no, we're all gonna die.
I mean, not that I'm gonna purposefully die.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, like,
Why are we alive? Why are we alive?
what's the point of living life when the ultimate end is death?
That was beautiful.
I know.
5 big claps. That was 4. That's the question. And honestly, that's a big question because you live this life such a short life, and then you die. So what was the point of living in the first place? I think a lot of, like, religions, like, with reincarnation, have the idea of you reincarnating because you can't get past the idea, what's the point of just living one life, right? If you just live and die. so fast, like a flame in the whole universe. This conversation, such a
true.
speck.
Like, your life isn't... People, like, maybe, like, 100 or, like, 200 years from now, they're not gonna remember you.
Nope.
They don't know. No one knows that you ever existed.
Nope. Unless you...
Make some incredible change.
And which...
by doing better than what you already are.
No, there's no point in doing better. Yeah, that's a great question. And I think, like, the two views you take, right? One, if you believe that you were created by a higher being, versus the other one, that you were just, like, chance, right? It's just nature. It just happens.
Stardust combined.
Yeah, you're the product of millions of particles. The first one, I think, if you think something created you, that gives a more, why we're recreated, maybe it was for that being. So you could glorify the being. But the second one, if it's all random, that's a
then
kind of...
like, alright.
So why
I was
am I
put
here?
on this earth to die.
Yeah, maybe.
Is that a wrong thing to think?
Maybe not wrong, but just different. Because I think, yeah, right? Like, you can think, why am I alive, right? Why do we exist? One is you were created for another reason. One is that you're just here. You're just a product, a byproduct. Maybe the third is, like... No, that doesn't make sense, though. I was thinking a third could be, like... everything around you was created for you. But that still doesn't explain why you exist.
You know, I heard something online that was like, you are, since you are made of the universe, you are the universe experiencing itself. Do you think that's a load of bullshit, or do you think it's like...
I think it's...
Yeah.
borderline. Well, like, who cares, you know? Okay, I'm a
Doesn't
piece of the
matter.
universe. Terrific.
Yeah.
Then you could say, why does the universe exist?
Why there could be multiple universes.
Then why do those exist?
And why do ours exist? What's special about ours?
What if
we
there's-
get to be conscious in them?
There's a million copies of what we're doing right now in millions of
Do you
universities
believe in
around the world.
multiverses?
I do, I think.
Yeah.
We're tiny.
We are so small.
So small. It's so fun. That's a huge question, like, why do we exist? Because we're in a state of being, right? And then we're gonna not be in a state of being.
But
So
then
why?
we go after that. That's
That's
another
question.
controversial,
Gross.
debatable.
Okay, and that's enough now. Too many questions. Yeah, my dad, the other day, I was asking him, like, what are the biggest questions that you think exist? He said, like, where do we come from? Who are we right now, or something like that? And where will we go? The past, the present, and the future. Those are the three big questions. Where do we come from? Why do we exist?
What's
Who are
the
we
point
right
about thinking about the past if it's already happened?
Because it helps inform the future.
Would it? Does history repeat
1984,
itself?
George Orwell. Those who control the past control the future. Those who control the present control the past. I think it does. If you know why you... Let's just say you're a robot and you were programmed to do something and you forget... You don't know about your history. You don't know what you were programmed to do. You're gonna go... Do you kind of get what I'm trying to get?
I see.
I don't know if that's the right reasoning, but I think that is one reasoning for knowing
But then-
why we're here.
Is there like some kind of divine punishment if we can't find our purpose? What's the point of finding our purpose?
Good question. I think one immediate answer that comes to mind is you live a more meaningful life. You feel like you've lived a life well lived.
Just because you know why you're alive.
Yeah.
Why you were put on this earth.
I suppose.
Doesn't
so.
that... Wouldn't that... I feel like that would make me feel worse because
Why?
I'm being controlled by an upper being.
Hmm.
Or I was created on this earth for a reason and that reason isn't just because that it was by chance and I came here to experience my own world.
So would you rather have no meaning, or would you rather create your own meaning?
I think, at least for me, I think it's by pure consequence that I'm here. I'm a byproduct. And I think we were all put on this earth to die. Like, I don't think there's a objective meaning that we all have. Or like, each individual has.
So you think there's no subjective meaning either?
I mean, people can go subjective however they want. I mean, people can try to create their own meaning. But I don't think it's something that we always need to look for. Especially if it's not going to benefit us. Like, going back, humans are, like, selfish creatures.
Mm.
Why are we looking for something that won't directly benefit us? We're just gonna acquire that knowledge and what?
Knowledge is power. Just pull that out of my pocket. Well, if you live, don't you think it's sort of aimless and maybe sad if you live meaninglessly? Like, not meaninglessly, but if you live with the idea that your life is meaningless.
It doesn't have to necessarily be sad. Just because it doesn't have meaning doesn't mean you can't have happiness. Isn't it, like, more sad that you have meaning? For example, if you're put on this earth to find your passion or whatever. Okay, like, oh, I have a passion for, like, art or something. You find that passion. Okay, I completed my meaning. I've now acquired the enlightenment of meaning. How is that going to impact the future? How is that going to impact me? Like, I found my passion, but I could have done this without directly knowing the meaning.
Well,
Do you just want to feel the satisfaction of having purpose added to your life?
yeah, I think it's that. I think I get where you're coming from. It's like you think there's such a loss of autonomy.
Yeah.
It's like Calvinism, where they had like predetermined, you were born to go to hell, you were born to go to heaven.
Yeah.
I get where you're coming from. Yeah, and I think the question is just that, can there be a sense of satisfaction in knowing you're created to do a certain thing, and then discovering that? Like a robot.
I think for me, I don't think so. If you're comparing, a robot has no feelings.
But let's say, or let's just say a human, right? Let's say have you watched Soul?
Yeah.
You know how they all have their sparks, right?
Yeah.
Would you feel satisfied to find your spark?
I would feel trapped.
You want to create your own spark.
Yeah.
But you never know if that spark was already created for you. So you feel...
But I think if I knew, I would feel even more trapped and pressured. I think I'd want to change my spark if someone chose it for me already.
But we'll never know.
I think not knowing is not always bad.
Oblivion is bliss.
Yeah.
I get where
The
you're
less
coming
I know,
from.
the better. Tame Impala.
Okay. I get where you're coming from now.
I think we should end this conversation.
Okay, it is. One last thing, thought bubble to end our conversation on.
Okay.
I think you have to have a strong moral compass then, if you do live life as a sort of I create my own spark kind of attitude. Because then you could say, like, if you have no moral compass, no right and wrong, that becomes very scary. Because you can do anything and say, I create my own meaning, so it's okay.
Well, that's a very heavy question, because how do you determine what's right and what's wrong in morality? And what is considered a strong moral compass?
But I think, like, in our current society.
Confining to the values of our current society?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you have, let's say you don't believe in any sort of assigned meaning or anything like that, and you just want to create your own path, that's very dangerous rules. Or, that's very dangerous breeding grounds.
But is that not what we're doing right now?
But I think we have morals that we follow. Like being kind. And we're not just going to go around killing random people.
Are they really morals, or are they just learned habits?
Well, that's sort of still morals because it guides you, doesn't it?
Well, I think morals is more like core values. That they truly believe is right. But can you truly believe so?
Oh my god, no! Okay, we can end it here.
Okay.
But I think, like, you're such a kind person. And
Oh, thank you,
you are
Audrey
a kind
Hua.
person. Would you say that's one of your morals?
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, if it wasn't one of your morals, I think you'd go around being a mean person.
Well, what if I think something different about the person in my head? Like, oh my gosh, I hate Audrey Hua.
But you're being nice to me, so if I don't know, I don't know.
Oblivion is bliss.
Okay.
Okay, we're done.
That was a lot of questions. From cosmic insignificance to moral compasses, I honestly don't know if we found answers, but I think that's the point. Thanks for listening to Squirrel. Follow the show and share it with someone who gets stuck in their own brain sometimes. See you next time!